George with southernplate.com. Oh, I think it just started. I don't know. Anyway. Hey everybody, I'm Chrissy Jordan with southernplate.com. If I'm telling you that twice on this recording later, I'm sorry. So today I have a question that I thought warranted an entire video of its own, and I'd love to hear from y'all in the comments as well, what you do. This is from Barbara, and Barbara says, I was trained up by a mother who consistently taught us waste not, want not. As a result, I rinse out vegetable cans and add to the cooking pot. I use spatulas to get that last morsel of mayonnaise, mustard, peanut butter, and whatever. I save ketchup bottles to rinse out and add to vegetable soup. When I make a cake, cornbread, or biscuits, I clean the bowl with a spatula and use every scrap of dough. When clearing the table, any veggie or juice left in a serving bowl goes into a gallon Ziploc bag in my freezer to be used in soup. I throw leftover cornbread rolls, biscuits, in pieces of loaf bread, and those last bits of cereal or chips into Ziploc bags for dressings or breadcrumbs for casseroles. Mom taught us that we had more time than money, and it was worth the extra effort to not waste anything. How about you? I watch a lot of cooking shows and cringe when I see those cooks leaving bits and pieces to be thrown away. Just love your blog. Oh, and she says, just call me Mimi. I'm sorry, Barbara. I called you Barbara. We'll call you Mimi now. That was a wonderful question. And, you know, I do a lot of things to be frugal in the kitchen. And I'm trying to do more. I think, and let's talk about for a minute of why we need to do this. Well, number one, it's just wise. It's just wisdom. And I feel like the more wisdom you use in life, the better you're going to be rewarded for it one way or another, you know. I'm not looking for rewards, but you know what I'm talking about. And I do feel like waste not, want not. And when you waste food and things, I'm not superstitious at all. I'm a Christian. We don't believe in superstitions and all that mess, you know. But I know that when you carelessly throw away food, when you're not a good steward of the resources that God has given you, I don't believe he's going to trust you with more resources. And so we're called to be good stewards of what we have. And, you know, I know a lot of people in the old days, used to have a neighbor. She's passed away now, but she kept a big Tupperware bowl in her freezer, and she would put all her leftover veggies in it. And at the end of the month, she'd make a big pot of soup out of that, you know, and just season it and stuff. You have a big pot of soup. I save leftovers all the time. I recycle them. Like, I won't serve, usually on Sunday, I'll make a couple of really big servings of side dishes. And then on Monday, we'll have one of those sides with our entree. On Tuesday, we may have another one with an entree. You know, I recycle stuff, so nobody really knows they're eating leftovers. Of course, it also makes great lunches. You save a lot of money by my husband taking his lunch to work, or I ate lunch here. You know, I'm here every day. So I do things like that. I also try to grow what I can. Where I live, we don't have much sun. We have a lot of trees. It's a heavily wooded area. And we looked at cutting down some trees, but the cost is going to be a couple of $1,000s. And we have other things on our priority list for home repairs that had to be done before that. So instead, I'm experimenting with different vegetables, you know, to see what'll grow better in the shade. And here's my patch. And this didn't do so good last year, so this is what I'm trying this year, you know. So I experiment with that stuff. Since I don't have a good area to grow, my parents do. They have a lot of sun. And so last year, they decided to put in some fruit trees. And I said, hey, they have plenty of sun areas. And I said, if I give you some money to go in on it, will you get some extra fruit trees? You know, so I gave them double the money they were planning on spending. So they doubled the amount of fruit trees they planted. I'm getting off point here. I wanted to talk about why we should do this. You know, aside from it just being wise and from us being called to be good stewards of our resources, the economy, I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably know somebody who's unemployed, who can't find a job. You probably know somebody who's on some type of government assistance in order to be able to feed their family. It's really getting worse, but it's hard to get an accurate picture or to get an accurate number of what the unemployment rate actually is. Because what they do is to make the unemployment rate look better, after a while, the people who have given up on finding a job, they'll take those out of the unemployment number. So we've got this huge percentage of working age people who are not considered unemployed because they've given up. they'll take the people who have a part-time job and they'll take them out of the unemployment number. But you tell a young man who has a family and only a part-time job that he's gainfully employed, that's the best he can find. No, he'd consider himself pretty unemployed unless he's got some full-time work. And then, they're saying that, we don't really know how many people are on government assistance. There's a way of skewing those numbers with everything too. And they skew it to make it look more promising, to give us hope. I understand to an extent. It's just kind of like when we're on a trip with the kids and maybe we've got 4 hours left of driving and Katie says, Mama, how much longer till we get there? Well, I don't want to tell her 4 hours. I'll say, oh, just a little over 3 hours, and they'll try to get her busy so it passes. So I think in some ways the government does it for those types of reasons, but we do know that the numbers are skewed. But you just look around you at what, Katie? Huh? Okay. Katie's on her computer. You look around you and you just have to use your common sense. For a long time, the economy was something we read about in other parts of the country, and it was hard to imagine because where I live, Huntsville, Alabama, is the space industry, and we have NASA, we have a lot of government contracts, we have an arsenal and things, so it's a lot of government work, and we were very insulated. We really just started feeling the impact that everyone else in the country was feeling just, I'd say, a couple of years ago. We weathered the economy pretty well, but now it's starting to, have issues here. Of course, people are bringing home less money. Families are actually bringing home less money now than they were 10 years ago. The cost of living has gone up. And so, you just have to look around and think, you know what, if this is not affecting me, it is still affecting all those around me. And it would be foolish of me not to take measures now, not to try to be more conscious in the way I consume my resources and in where my resources come from. It's very important to try to grow what you can, to try to make do with what you can, to try to save money here and there. You know what? What if it never affects you? What if the world just starts coming up roses and rainbows tomorrow? Well, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to have a little extra money. Well, we can live with that. I'd rather take that chance, having a little extra money. So I've been doing a lot of gardening experimentation at my house. I've actually looked into aquaponics. I don't know that I'm going to take that plunge just yet. I have done other things. I started thinking about how my great-grandmother lived, and my great-grandmother, Leela, she would tell me stories. She passed away when I was 17, so I was very close to her. And she would tell me stories about, going out into the yard and getting the chicken and wringing its neck and all this stuff. And so I thought, it's important for me to know that I can do things like that. So in the past 2 years, I have taught myself how to dispatch animals and process meat. And I can honestly say that all by myself, I can take a living animal and take it from, living animal in a humane fashion to supper on my table. And I can do it all by myself. Now, some people may think that's a little extreme. Woo, we got the sun shining in on us, don't we? Some people may think that's a little extreme. Some people may think, whoop-de-doo, that's nothing. You're not even close to what all you need to know. But there's different things that we need to teach ourselves, and different things that we need to know. I do a lot of dehydrating, and that's how I preserve a lot of our food. If I always look for meat on clearance. I'll go the day they mark it down. When my freezer starts getting low, I will actually go to, I'll start going to Sam's when they first open in the morning, and I'll go several days a week, and I'll buy whatever meat they put out that we would eat. And I come home and I package it immediately and put it in the freezer, or if it's ground beef, I'll cook it. And then there's a method of cooking it where I can dehydrate it, and I actually store it in mason jars. It's shelf stable. Then I have a video on that and a whole post on Southern Plate about making shelf stable ground beef. I've also started, and this is something you may or may not be into, and that's fine. We got to make the best decisions for our family. I actually use TVP. I started substituting ground beef crumbles, TVP, which is texturized vegetable protein. It's soy. And I substitute that for ground beef. So when I have ground beef dish, sometimes it's all TVP. Sometimes there's a little ground beef. Sometimes I'll brown that beef and I take my rehydrated TVP and I kind of brown it in there with it and put it in there. I've been doing that for a couple of months now and nobody knows. Katie knows because she helps me cook and stuff a lot, but my husband and my son haven't noticed. And another advantage of that, well, TVP is very inexpensive and also has no cholesterol. The way you can, this is a little interesting thing. The way you can know something has cholesterol is it had to have had a liver in order to have cholesterol in it. So if you've got a plant-based product, it doesn't have cholesterol. If you have a beef product, well, that comes from cow. Cows have livers. It has cholesterol, so that's kind of how you know. But that's a way that's kind of, cut down a little on our meat consumption. Meat is the most expensive thing to buy, obviously. I'm trying to think of what else I've done. I just, I do save my leftovers. Now, I'm really good. I've gotten really good. I've come a long way at cooking exactly the amount of food we need. When Ricky and I first got married, it was just the two of us, and I had only seen my mother cook for 7 people. And so that's what I cooked. He came home the first night, and we had this tiny little table for 2, and it was completely covered in dishes. There wasn't even any room for our plates. It was just dishes full of food. And it took me a long time to learn how to cook for 2 people, but I'm really good at it now. I can cook. I know exactly how much everybody in my family is going to eat. And so when I cook chicken breast, like I make 3 chicken breasts. There's 4 of us. Me and Katie usually have one. Brady will eat his own. Ricky will eat his own. I cook just enough for everybody. Then I use a lot of rice to bulk things up some. I shop a lot of sales. I buy in bulk and I buy in quantity. And there's only certain times of year that I'll buy canned vegetables, and because I can get them for half price. So when I get them for half price, I buy them for the whole year rather than continuing and going back. And that way it keeps me from having to go to the grocery store for one more thing, and it keeps me from having to pay full price. I do couponing, not as much as I would like to do, but when I find a good deal, I stock up through coupons. And, I just try to be as wise as I can. We can all do different things. And, your mom said, let me find this, what your mom said about this. She said, you have more time than you do money. That is actually, that's the case for a lot of people. For some people, it may not be worth it to them to go the trouble of clipping all the coupons or raising their own meat or something like that. They may be able to use their time in other ways that are more productive and profitable for them. And it's all on a case-by-case basis. And so I just try to do what's reasonable for me, and we see how it works, and every year I'm trying out new things. I want to be as self-sufficient as possible. I think most of the people watching this are very much dependent on grocery stores, and that's not, it's not much of a safety net because most grocery stores have about 3 days worth of food. So something disrupts that supply, or power goes out or something, but I have a very strong and very firm belief that it is my responsibility to make sure that my family is taken care of. God helps, of course, but there's no other human on this earth. Me and my husband, it's our responsibility to look after our family. And we don't expect anybody else to intercede on our behalf or to reach out if we fall short. So, kind of like the old days, everybody's out in the wilderness on their own. So that's how I feel about that. Answers your question. Some of the things I do. What do I do to be more frugal in the kitchen? Yeah, so that's it. I also use generic just about everything. I use a lot of generics. I use generic dishwashing liquid. I use generic cooking spray. I mean, I use generic everything, vegetables, all kinds of stuff. If I can save money, I always look at the price. Katie and I were in the grocery store the other day, and she wanted this one item. and there were 3 different brands. And so we talked about, okay, Katie, look at the price of that. So you see how much we'd pay if we bought this brand, but look at this brand right next to it. If we buy this one, we'll save, it was a 4-pack thing, and we will save $0.25 on each one of these. That's $1, you know. What if you bought 20 of these in a year? You save $20 just by picking a different brand, you know. And so we do things like that a lot too. But anyway, I hope that answered your question. I know this was a little more rambling than usual. Also, to y'all watching this, I'm just kind of burning the candle at both ends right now because I'm trying to get my book done. It's due in May. And then I'm also trying, you know, well, we're homeschool. And of course, that's the top priority. And then I've got all my normal work to do on southernplate.com to bring you new recipes, to write newsletters and things. And so normally my work day is structured. So I get up around 4:30 and I work till, you know, around the time school's out, and then I work on supper and house stuff. And I don't usually, the evenings are usually family time and the weekends. With all that I have going on right now, I'm working all through the day, into the evening, and weekends. So I'm just kind of working. If I'm awake, I'm working. And so I'm just a little, I don't know if y'all can tell the difference. I hope you can't tell the difference. I'm still trying to keep up on everything. But it has been a little, you know. And we hope to have another video for you soon, the second biscuit class video. We've got to have time to edit that. So let me see. There was something else I wanted to talk to you about. I gotta look at my notebook here. Okay. I had received a few more questions, but they weren't at the special email I gave you for my questions. And I can't find them now. I give out, and I'll probably be sending it out in my next newsletter, which will take place this weekend, I think. But if you're a subscriber to Southern Plate, to my newsletter, you can go to southernplate.com/subscribe, or just go to the website. There's a bunch of subscription boxes and stuff. One will actually pop up if it's your first time visiting. And subscribe to the newsletter. That's my best way to reach out to you. That's my best way to have one-on-one communication. But on those emails, the email addresses I use for that, I get so many spam emails that it's just hard for me to siphon through it. And I mean, I get as many as 1,000 spam emails a day. So I send out every now and then, I'll be sending a call for questions soon. I send out a special email address to newsletter subscribers that you can email me your questions for these videos and things. I got to try to get out of the sun. That you can email me your questions for these videos and things. And that's why it's very important that you send there, because when I get ready to do a video, I go and I open that email, and it's only emails from y'all. It's only questions for y'all. And the reason why I won't give that out on the website or on this video and stuff is because once an email address gets out on the internet, that's how you start getting all the spam and stuff. And, you know, I've learned that the hard way with all of my other email addresses. So stay tuned for that. I want to be able to answer your questions and things. It's just not, you know, it's not something I can keep up with on all my email inboxes. And it's nice to be able to have them all in one place, because then I can just open it up and answer them in a video. Email, other than the questions email, if you have questions for videos, email is the one thing I just have to let go. You know, if you have a question for me about a recipe, if you ask it in a comment on that recipe, I'll answer you. If you ask it on my Facebook page, I answer there. I try to kind of keep it. There's a few places where you can always get an answer from me, but I had to give up answering every single email a couple years ago. So just so I could have time, you know, at some point you just have to kind of cut it off so I could have time with the kids. The other thing, I have a very special opportunity. Goodness, we have got some sun. Let me see if I can find my thingy, my barber. Just a second, y'all. I got a thingy to get rid of this sun over here. Here we go. Okay. This is a photography thingy. Okay, let me see if I can prop that up and I can get rid of this. Oh. Well, that didn't do a lot of good, did it? I'll hold it. There you go. Okay, it's working kind of. Anyway, so what was I have a very special opportunity for y'all, and I'm really excited about it. And I need you. I'm going to send it out to the email subscribers. Okay, it's another, you know, thing. I just don't need it out on the general internet, so I start getting spam and robots and all that mess on it. It's an opportunity for you and your grandmother whether she's living or not, or mother, to be a part of my next cookbook. I need y'all to check your email. I'm going to try to get it all set up this week. So I'll be emailing you this weekend, or maybe the first part of next week. So be sure you subscribe by email, because I'm very excited about this. Y'all are very kind to tune in to my recipes and stories from my heritage and my family. And I want this is about you and me. This is not just about me. Y'all have wonderful families. You have wonderful heritages, and I want to share that. And so I've gotten permission from my publisher to do something very special, and it's going to be time sensitive, so you're going to have to kind of hurry, so we can get it done. So be sure you check your email. I'll just check all the emails. I don't send that many emails. I mean, I may send, it'll be within the next 2 to 3 emails I send out. So make sure you check that out. And like I said, if you don't subscribe, southernplate.com/subscribe. And I'm not trying to be like exclusive or anything. It's just easier for me to talk to you if you subscribe to my newsletter, and that's the best way that I can make sure you see what I'm posting. Facebook only shows my posts to less than 1% of the people who like the page. I can't control what Facebook shows. I can't, whoa, mercy, the sun. See, the sun's just shining on me today. I can't control what you see on Pinterest. The only thing I can really is if you subscribe to the newsletter, I can send you that email in your inbox. And I'm the only one who ever sees those email addresses. I've had people offer to give me money and stuff for access to my email list. I'm like, no. I mean, it's a no. That is my word and my honor, and it's something that is private, and I'm the only one who can log in and have access to that, and no one else can get that. And I'm the only one who sends you emails, and so you get anywhere from 2 to 4 emails a week from me, depending, but they're actually from me. That whenever you get an email from Southern Plate, it's something I have sat in and typed up, and then I hit send to the email subscriber list. Mercy. Okay. Whew. I look like I'm radioactive in this thing. Alabama is so weird. We've had like a beautiful spring day yesterday, and it's the Arctic again today. But anyway, I hope that answered your questions. I hope y'all subscribe so you can take part of this very special part of my next book, because I'm really excited and I want you in on it. But you're just going to have to subscribe to get the details. And again, subscribing is free. I don't know if there's anything else I need to assure you about, so I don't make any money or anything off that, it's a way for me to let you know, hey, I posted a new recipe. Hey, here's some great recipes for Valentine's Day. Hey, here's, sometimes I share little inspiring stories, little devotionals and uplifting, but I try to put it all in one email. I don't ever just send out 50 emails a week. I try to be very respectful of your inbox, because I'm someone who understands how much spam a person can get. So I try to be very mindful of that. But anyway, thank you for being here. I feel like this video is just me rambling. I probably shouldn't even post it. I don't know. I'm going to anyway. So God bless you for sticking with it. I'll try to do a little better and be a little more on point next time. I'll have some more questions to answer. I'm getting a call. I guess that's and it's Mama. So, all right, I'll holler at y'all later. Have a good day, and see you on southernplate.com. Bye.